thing as well. We were talking about the phrase conspiracy theorist, which again is, for me, I think that's the first barrier you've got to overcome when you're talking to somebody, because as soon as you say anything like that, that phrase is going to pop in their head immediately, and they're probably going to say it. And James Corbett, who we talked about before, did a very good podcast called The C Word, and it's from 2008, and I'm sure you can still find it for free online. Google James Corbett, The C Word, and I listened to it a couple of days ago, and it's very good actually, because I was talking vaguely about a CIA document, but there is actually, I've got the CIA document 1035/960. That's a real document. It's not something that somebody's made up, and it actually does concern the introduction of this phrase, and it's telling media heads and newspaper commentators and journalists to start using this phrase, to introduce this phrase, because there were people who were questioning the JFK official story, even in 3-4 years after it. And that was even before the famous Zapruder film was shown to the public. People may not know, but the Zapruder film wasn't shown to the public for years. I think even 10 years or something. And I guess you've seen the Oliver Stone film, have you seen it? Yeah.
Yes,
Jim Garrison actually showed it to the court, and I think it was the first time, that was in about 67, 68, because he was trying to convict one person called Clay Shaw. He showed it to the court, and no one had ever seen it before, not many people, and they were all shocked because obviously his head went back and to the left, and he was supposedly shot from the back. I'm going to talk about that in a second. That was the reason that this document was produced.
Talking about conspiracy theories, there is a paper, actually, a document written by an American author that I think is very close to the Obama administration, and the author is a guy named Cass Sunstein, I think, and it's called Conspiracy Theories, and I think it's a meme or a document that I think is in a way promoting the use of this term, and also the idea, that you can use it to discredit any alternative explanation, and the way this, is in a way alienating people and marginalizing them. So sort of a tool in order to discredit and marginalize any dissident opinion or any status quo critique and the likes. So I think it's quite interesting because it really goes to show how there are people actively involved in this propaganda machine that are giving suggestions and directions on what levers to pull. They know very well human psychology.
Oh, they do, yeah. The same as advertisers, they're experts, because really it all comes down to psychology. Facts are useful, but facts almost don't matter, because someone's got a mindset where they have a belief. It doesn't matter what facts you put in front of them. It's a psychological process. On the subject, I think Cass Sunstein, wasn't he the one that was trying to... he suggested that people should be prosecuted for having conspiracy theories. Have you heard that?
It's possible. I don't remember.
I think it's something to do with that document. I'm aware of that document. But another, again on this subject, there's a gentleman called Ian R. Crane. Have you ever heard of him? He's a speaker. He's based in Devon, which is in southwest of England, southwest. Yeah.
You know so many people.
I do,
Antony.
yeah.
I'm gonna. All mine of references.
I am, yeah. In fact, I'm gonna do a blog post of the guide to the alternative movement, and I'm gonna name.
Please do.
Some of the good people. He went to. There was a conference called the Conspiracy Theory Conference. 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. And what was hilarious about it was that they had all these academics who were government funded. And I'll be honest, I didn't listen through all of their talks, but I listened to a bit to get a flavour. And they were all talking about this model that the mainstream has about the conspiracy theorists, right? There's this kind of model about them that that they don't believe in coincidences and and they are people who crave excitement, and they went through all this stuff about that they're most likely to like these films or something,
Yes.
presumably they're more likely to like, I don't know, Stanley Kubrick maybe, but Stanley Kubrick for me is just a master filmmaker. I do love his stuff, and shout out I want to give actually to my friend Rob Ager from Liverpool, AGER, who does subliminal film analysis. So check out his stuff, Rob Ager. He does brilliant film analysis, and he also did a video called How to Make Sense of Conspiracy Theories, which was very good. But he's found links between The Shining and the gold story of gold, and this sort of toing and froing between the government controlling the money system and the bankers controlling it, and then the role of gold in this. And I think, if I could recommend any of Rob's videos, just look for put The Shining Rob Ager, and he's got all kinds of videos about all these continuity errors, which must have been deliberate, and it's all about these subtexts of The Shining. It's very interesting. But so I guess the conspiracy theories might be drawn to Stanley Kubrick, which I'm drawn to him just because his films are multi-layered, and but going back to this conference, they had all these academics talking about conspiracy theories, and then this guy Ian Crane, who was, I think he was a head of 9/11 Truth in London, in England for a while. And he said, we've had all this wonderful stuff about conspiracy theorists and conspiracy theories, and they've had all these reasons why they believe. They've only not mentioned one reason, which is when people start investigating and find out that things are true. Like, just the idea of that seems to be like mental, It's like, oh God, And so they spent all this time. There doesn't seem to be any indication or any attention given to just research, And I just want to talk briefly about the JFK. We had obviously the 50th anniversary last week, and I didn't really watch any of the programs, but I did sort of have a look at how it was being projected, and basically every documentary that came out was just Oswald acting alone. Even though a recent poll said that more than half of American people don't think that he acted alone. And I mean, there's a few evidence, I can go through it if you want. But the only alternative was this theory that's come from an Australian guy, some random guy, it seems like. If anyone knows who he is, tell me. But that an agent who was travelling in the car behind shot him by mistake.
By mistake?
Yeah. He had his gun cocked and his gun went off. Forgive me if I've got the details of this wrong, everybody, but this is the gist of it.
A la Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. You blew the nigga's head off, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Anyway, feel free to rebut me, anybody. But I had a look, and that was the only alternative theory. But again, to us, that kind of tactic, we're obviously going to sound very paranoid, but that tactic, what does it say? It says that the mainstream view is correct because we say it is, and the only alternative is a crackpot theory. And it just lumps them all together, and it's as simple as that, and you know that as well as I do, but people just have to understand that. It's a very simple tactic. It's not difficult, but it's very effective.
It does. It does block any, even will to try to understand or to think in a different way and investigate a little bit, different theories. There is, most people probably don't do, but talking about JFK, it is well known. Well, it is not well known, but it is at least well documented that a few months before being killed, he signed I think what they call sort of a presidential order, and it's I think order 100000, something like that. But you can check it out on the internet, where he simply initiated or he ordered the issuance of I think $6 or $7 billion by the United States of America Treasury instead of the Federal Reserve, and that money, those bills, those dollars were backed by an equal amount of silver that was stored in the Treasury vault, thereby creating and issuing debt-free money. And this is quite an important decision that is historically documented.